Hello and welcome to the Unsubscribe to the Inner Chatter and Upgrade Your Inner Processor workshop. And I'm so very excited to have you all here and begin this journey. This journey is going to contain so much value. And I am already excited to have you all on board. And thank you all for taking out the time to join and be a part of our journey. I am so excited to start the journey and begin this process with you all. This webinar is going to be all about clearing your limiting beliefs, working on your trauma responses, clearing the energetics surrounding that, and moving towards clarity and manifesting accelerated health, wealth, and relationships. So, this is going to be that journey which completely transmutes your life and literally shapes your inner reality in a way that it starts to reflect outside with the kind of reflection that you would like to see on the outside. So, this is going to be the most life changing journey that you surely have walked, and I am extremely excited to walk this journey with all of you. And we are going to be talking about the science, the spirituality, even the different modalities and aspects of manifestation, and how it all can be integrated together to completely transmute your life in every possible way. I can't wait to start this journey with you all. I'm just waiting for more of you all to just join in before we begin this journey. Thank you, Ankita and Himani, for already taking the time out and joining in just a minute since we have started. And we're going to wait a little bit more for all of you to join in so we can start the journey. And this is going to be a 3 hours long journey. So get ready with your popcorn and cold drink and all that you desire and get ready for this journey. When we are in this path of unsubscribing to the inner chatter, we must know that it is a process. It's not just an overnight journey. It's not like today you are in the most negative state of your mind and you don't feel good, you don't have hope. Suddenly, tomorrow, things can shift for you. It's not like that, but it's a journey, it's a process. But it can also happen suddenly and overnight for a person that the person shifts from a state of consciousness to another, and the journey completely changes the trajectory for them overnight. That's also possible, and I have seen that time and again in my community. And I have over 6300 plus success stories now. So, with all the different various shades of success stories I've seen, I have literally seen people get their eggs back in one day, people healing from dengue in one day, people just reconciling after not talking to each other for like 5 years in just 20 days, people getting into a serious relationship in just 11 days, situations transforming, people healing from anxiety in just 3 days, 1 day. I have seen such miracles happen time and again. So it's possible that you just shift overnight. So you may experience some life changing miracle even after the end of today's workshop. And I'm so looking forward to experience that with you as well. But when you do not have an expectation and you just let the energy flow when we are going to do the clearing, it will actually help you to manifest more. And we'll also talk about why that is and what's the science behind manifestation and all of that. So, a lot of you have already joined in, and I think it's time that we start and begin the journey. So, hi Ankita, hi Arundhati, Himani, Pallavi, Shalini, Shalu, Sneha. There's so many of you who's already joined in. Congratulations and thank you for taking the time out for joining in and making this workshop part of your life this beautiful Saturday evening. So, when we are talking about your negative thoughts, your inner chatter, you are constantly in a state, you are constantly in a zone where you may feel triggers in your body and chatters in your mind happening simultaneously. So, usually, a person who is having a lot of inner chatter is either numbed out or they are feeling a lot of its impact on the body. Like, literally, there are people who numb out so much that they manifest negative thoughts in form of diseases, in form of stomach ache, even in form of headache. And there's the group of people who do not numb out that much and they feel the anxiety in their body. They feel it as restlessness, they feel it as anxiousness, they feel it as triggers. And it's an easier state of consciousness if you are a person who can sense it and feel it rather than you can't feel it, because usually for a person who can't feel their emotions usually has built up walls, and those are the kind of people who start to sense emotions and energetics through their different body parts. So, we are going to dive into this aspect, it's not just going to be your thoughts and your emotions that we are going to touch upon, but your energetics, inner walls, and a lot of aspects are going to come up, which needs to be encompassed, which needs to be looked upon to actually integrate with all of it. So let's dive straight in. So, hi, I'm Chirashri, and I have 6300 plus success stories, and I help you to manifest your desires while being trauma informed and clearing your energetics so that you can accelerate at quantum speed. I have 7+ years experience in this industry, and I'm a certified student of Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi and Joe Vitale, to name some of the prominent, eminent celebrities who I have been able to be a student of till now. Apart from that, I have also done my Joyous Body Protocol from Infinite Healing, Access Consciousness Clearing, like Access Bars practitioner. I have also done that course from Access Consciousness, and also I'm a happiness coach, and the list could go on. And with all the experiences I've had in last 7.5 years, I can tell you that the key to really transform your limiting beliefs is to become aware of what they are, is to become aware of where they're coming from and the different various ways the limiting beliefs can come down. So it's not just your thoughts, but it's your ancestral thoughts as well. It's also the collective consciousness. A lot of aspects actually come into play when we are talking about the inner chatter, and it's so much to talk about that I decided that why not just do a 3 hours workshop where I can talk about it all. And here we are. So, when we are born, before our birth, our thought processes are already being impacted by that of our parents. Whatever experience our parents have, the kind of relationship our parents have, the kind of words our parents are hearing, the kind of words that are usually used at home, the kind of environment that your parents are in are already starting to impact you. And this goes far beyond than just the current reality when you are in the womb. Prior to you are in the womb, before your parents have got married, the individual life that your parents have had, the belief system your mom is carrying, the belief system your father is carrying, the kind of experiences your father had, the kind of experiences your mother had, all of them together have formed their core belief system and vibrational standpoint. So, a vibrational standpoint is a core state of vibration based on your beliefs, emotions, and energetics, and experiences being impacted and affected together and integrated at the core. So, that's your dwelling place. That's where a person shows up from. That's where a person will go back to again and again. So your mom has a vibrational standpoint, your dad has a vibrational standpoint, their parents have it, and if you have siblings, they also have a vibrational standpoint. And based on everybody's vibration, based on everybody's energetics, based on their emotions, based on their energy structure, a structure is formed. I'm not talking about physical reality, I'm talking about the vibrational reality. To understand manifestation, to understand clearing of limiting beliefs, to actually unsubscribe to the inner chatter and upgrade your inner processor, you need to unsubscribe to the physical reality. And you need to tap in on the inside. So when you are tapping in on the inside, you are going all in. You are focused on the sensations. You are focused on the vibrations. And that's where everything is happening because we are a vibrational being having a human experience. So the human experience we are having, that's equally being impacted by your vibrations. So, as above, so below, as within, so without. So, whatever is happening vibrationally, it's a perfect coherent match to what's happening physically. So, now back to the story your parents, your siblings, your relatives, everybody is holding a vibrational structure based on how they think, based on how they feel, based on their daily routine, based on their body structure, based on their physiology, based on everything, they are having a certain structure vibrationally. And based on the vibrational structure, they are holding a grid. They are holding an energetic grid as a family together. And the energetic grid, that energetic structure that's formed, based on that, there's a missing link in that. And that's where you are born. So when you were in your mom's womb, everybody was having a perfectly synced structure to hold it in place, to call your energy in. And as your energy came in, as your energy was a part of this energetics, you were in the flow. Either you could fit into your family or you could not fit into your family. So, if you could fit into your family, if you were a part of it, if you could align to your family, if you could be a part of the flow, you were naturally in that process of flowing, and everybody was a part of your life, and you were flowing, and in that process, it would move. But if there was a glitch in your family tree, if there was glitch with your family, if there was a lot of conditioning, there was a lot of triggers in your family, so naturally there has been a lot of glitch, there has been a lot of push and pull energetically you have felt. So when you were having the negative beliefs, when you were having the triggering emotions, beyond the emotions and your thoughts were your energetics, where you were fighting to make space for yourself. And that's what you might not have consciously noticed. As I said, a group of people, for them, it's very easy to focus on their emotions and energetics and how it's being felt. And for a group of people, they are numbed out and they form inner walls. We'll also talk about how the inner walls are formed, but a lot of people form the inner walls. And when that is formed, you usually do not really sense these energetics, but they are going to get dispersed or fragmented. So you may see it as headache. You may see it as suddenly there is a pain coming here and then it just goes away. You may see it as a sudden rash coming up. So there are various implications and manifestations how your inner belief system and anything that is not in coherence manifests other than inner chatter. So when we are talking about unsubscribing to the inner chatter, it is necessary to unsubscribe to your inner hindrances within. It's not just the inner thoughts, it's not just the inner triggers, but it's also your symptoms that you see. Everything has to be worked upon to be unsubscribed so that you can start actually upgrading your inner processor. Because upgrading your inner processor with all of those within that is not serving you will not really help you to elevate. So, with that being said, so when you are in that zone, when you are in that consciousness, when you are born and you are being able to fit in with your family, you're going in a flow and you're feeling that connection. So there's that ease, there's that sensation of flow, a sensation of serendipity. And you're flowing. And if you are having a lot of glitch, you are having a lot of fights, you have walked into a family tree where you just don't get along with your family, there's naturally going to be a lot of glitch. Like you are just flowing and there's a lot of pressure. You're just flowing, there's a lot of pressure. And whenever there's a lot of pressure, walls are built. Whenever there is a lot of flow, walls might also be built with external environment. You may avoid something that's just not in the flow. You may avoid taking too much of risks. You may prefer things that are more smooth and easeful because you're used to seeing it, of course, and you have a better imagery of it. So you may expect more of it in the physical reality if you are already experiencing and coming from a family where there's smooth flow. This is why it's said that people who are coming from family backgrounds where they usually have a very good uh, example of how a relationship should look like, what happiness should look like, and they share a good bonding with their parents, their psychology is impacted, their whole life is impacted. They become better decision makers. They easily can just go ahead and do well in their life. And that's exactly why, because when you are seeing things that are smooth, you will prefer things that are smooth. You wouldn't really want to run into situations that can be scary or too much of a risk is involved in it. You may prefer things that are more in protection and that are more easy and that are more less challenging and relationships that are already healthy. It's easier for a person coming from a background where the person has seen a lot of examples of happy family to naturally choose partners who are also healthy, because they usually refer to, okay, my father was healthy, so I would rather prefer someone like my father, or someone like my mother. And they end up with a person who's considerably with a lot of healthier qualities, where the person is coming off as caring and loving. Now, coming to the other side of the spectrum, the extreme side of the spectrum, where things are not that easy. You grow up in a family where there's money blocks, people talk about money does not grow on trees, people are scolding you, people are telling you things, people are comparing you with other children. You already have a lot of self esteem issues, you already have a lot of wounds and triggers in you. And there you are wondering that what have I done to be born here? Maybe you're 5 years old, 6 years old, and you are wondering, like, oh my God, what did I do to subscribe to this? And that's exactly where your belief system is formed. Between the age of 0 to 7, a person has already formulated their core beliefs. So you already have a basic self concept, you already have a basic pattern. You're either in your survival mode or you are in a state of ease. All of that has already been activated. And literally, your life is now starting to get reflected based on the beliefs you are carrying. So, if you are coming from a dysfunctional family dynamic, it's natural that you keep on running into experiences, relationships, people, and places where things just do not work out for you. And it doesn't make sense to you that how other people have it easy, but I just told you why some people have it easy and how it's going deeper than what it appears to be. And when you do not have that example of how a healthy relationship should look like, how a healthy dynamic looks like, you are naturally going to be drawn to people and places where there's a lot of chaos. There's that desire to fix things. There's that desire to change things. There's that desire to somehow put yourself in situations where it's not easy for you. And you literally feel like you are meeting the same soul again and again. You may meet your parents in others, you may meet your father in other people, and you may literally feel like, why am I attracting the dysfunction again and again? And that's because your nervous system has already been rewired between the age of 0 to 7 years old with this consciousness. You've already been rewired, you're already in that state of consciousness, you're already in that zone where you really cannot function any better. You're literally stuck in that programming. And because you're stuck in that programming is playing out again and again. And this is exactly why people with dysfunctional family dynamic may run into bullies. If you have been bullied in childhood, if you have had series of experiences where you've been bullied again and again, again and again, and you've had dysfunctional relationships, you've had people in your family that were dysfunctional, it is all connected. And you're attracting these because these are actually in your vibration, these are actually in your energy field and your emotional pathway, and those have literally clogged and formed a cluster together, which is getting reflected by other people. And very easy way to really deal with it is to work on the energetics. Because if we work on your thoughts, if we work on your emotions, it's going to be a part of it, but it's a long process. It's a long journey, but when you directly work on your emotions, thoughts, and energetics simultaneously, it's a much shorter journey and can be achieved faster than any other methodology out there. So, whenever you are having a lot of negative thoughts, what's happening is that a person, when they are repeatedly having negative thoughts, they are associating that to be a threat. So you are thinking of a belief, a thought, a trigger is coming in your way, which is negative, and it's literally clogging you from inside. And when you're feeling that sense of clog, when you're feeling that sense of squeezed energy, that's literally making your energy dimension inside feel like it just cannot move anymore. So your vibrational track point, your vibrational zone is literally getting clogged this way, and it just cannot move. And this is actually also your amygdala in the brain, which is the threat center, which is feeling like there's a threat. So even if there's no threat and you're just having a negative thought, your amygdala starts to shake. And once your amygdala is shaking, your entire body is getting the response that there's a threat out there, there's something wrong with it. So the moment there is something wrong with it, there's a energy of a wall, sort of. There's energetically, there's a wall. What is happening psychologically is that you're getting into freeze response, and you are literally like frozen. You can't move, or you are literally in fight flight. And when you're in fight flight or you're frozen, there's a wall that's getting formulated. At least when you're in flight fight, there's this energy. Energetically, the sensation is constantly moving. When a person is getting frozen, there's this layer, this wall that's literally getting created. And beyond that wall, it's literally impossible to move for a person when that wall is layer by layer. So, this is how a lot of people start to activate those responses of getting numbed. So whenever a person gets experiences something that they do not like, they're not comfortable with, they are getting frozen. They have a wall inside. And once they're getting frozen, maybe in childhood, they've been scolded and they've found a wall. And they're like, I don't want to lower the wall. I just want to keep the wall high up. So they don't want to lower the wall. So another experience comes in, their body has already programmed it that, okay, we need to create the wall. So it's getting into more freeze response. So again, another difficult experience occurs. The body is like, I'll create more wall. So by the time you are interacting with a person, you're having contact with a person, you've already formed that wall. There's layers of freeze response that have stored and caused numbness. So there's a wall, and behind that wall, you are talking and interacting with the other person, but there's a layer. So this leads to that pathway of I just do not feel at home. I want to go back home. I just feel distant. I just don't feel connected. I feel numbed. I just can't feel my feelings. And that's a lot of layer. There's a lot of sediment, a lot of structure that it has formed. And when you have programmed yourself once that, and your amygdala has got shaken, and your amygdala felt like, okay, I need to freeze and numb out. And if I freeze and numb out, I'm not feeling whatever is happening. So this is so much more easier. So every time something happens, I'm going to create one more wall, one more wall, one more wall. And more walls you create, that's the kind of shield you're creating to isolate yourself from the world, and that begins separation consciousness. So when there's a lot of shield and wall, what happens is your energy, instead of literally getting filled, like instead of you feeling the energy, you are kind of holding that energy in the wall. That wall is kind of trapping that energy. That wall is kind of trapping those feelings. And because the wall is trapping all of that, you literally can't pop out of the wall. You just cannot release yourself out of the wall. You're just kind of inside the wall and you're not being able to come out. And you're not being able to sense and literally feel it. And that's when different parts of your body, because your body and your consciousness is trying to come out of separation. Consciousness, your body and different aspects of it is going to start dodging it and start sending those signals and aspects to different body parts. So it may manifest as stomachache. It, like, if you are forming a lot of freeze response around maybe a family member, whenever the family member scolds you, you literally create that wall. So every time you're coming in front of that person, you are feeling there's something off in your stomach. Maybe your stomach starts paining. You may have aches in your head. You may just have fatigue sort of in your body. And that's your body trying to show you that there's something wrong, and there are aspects and energetics here that has been numbed out, and those are fragmented. There are parts of you where there's a lot of wall formed, and you're just trying to move past those walls. You're just trying to get past those areas. And that's the kind of signal that's coming from your body. And that signal is often manifested as headache or stomachache, and those are signs that something is off. But you're not being able to process your feelings, you're not being able to feel your feelings, so you are allowing yourself to just get frozen and just run away with this flight syndrome, and that's creating a wall which is frozen, and that freeze response is what is getting reflected, and you are seeing more of it. And that's kind of how these walls are formed and formulated around. And to really move past the walls, to really move past those layers, is what we are going to talk about later when we talk about the tools of how do you really shift this. So on the other hand, there are people who literally for them the amygdala shakes, and the entire body is feeling the emotions. They're feeling restlessness, their hands are becoming cold, they're sweating, they can feel their emotions, they can sense every bit of their emotion in every particle of their body. They can sense literally everything. And when you can sense literally everything, you literally are paranoid naturally when something is happening. Whether it's literally happening or a thought that's coming to make you overthink, no matter what that is, you literally get into a state of shutdown whenever you experience something bitter, whenever you're coming across a situation where it is just not working out for you, your amygdala starts to shiver, you start to shut down, and literally your system and processor just wouldn't move and work. And it literally goes through a state of like, I can't move, I'm completely shut. I can sense aspects, my emotions can sense aspects. Those are creating more feelings, those are creating thoughts, and literally I'm here, there, everywhere, and it's happening all at once, and I am so overwhelmed. And that's the kind of state people reach as well when they are faced with threat. So far we've covered that there are two basic ways that this can impact a person. Either the person can feel too much of their emotion, or the person may numb out. Or a person can be somewhere in between where they're feeling their feelings also, and some parts of them is getting numbed out. And that's what happens with almost half of the population. So, like, you could say 30% of the population or 40% of the population if is getting numbed out, and 30% of the population, if we consider, is kind of is getting in the other extreme. The rest is in the zone where They are either numbing out or feeling their feelings in some parts. And it's not that black and white. It really goes deep. So the group of people who are in heightened consciousness, who literally shiver and they're literally in that zone of like, I can't take it, I'm so paranoid, they start to get a set of limiting beliefs and thoughts and triggers, and they literally feel it in every aspect of their consciousness. There can be a group of people who may also tell you that, oh, depression is not real. You can just ignore what you're thinking. You just do not have to think so much. Why would you even overthink? And there's a group of people like, I can't help but overthink. I can't help but feel. And this is exactly why we have the groups. And that's because there are different past of these two group of people. It can be that either the group A, if we consider the ones who do not really feel their feelings that deeply, might not have experienced situations that are extremely dysfunctional, or they have experienced things that are extremely dysfunctional and have chosen to numb out and build those walls. And whereas on the other side of the spectrum, people have, though they have seen extreme dysfunction or they have not seen extreme dysfunction, but they have excess amount of connection to their emotional response compared to the other group of people. So when you're having that excessive emotional response to everything, what's happening is that you are in heightened consciousness. So heightened sensitivity, heightened consciousness, intuition, gifts, all of those also come into play. So the more you can feel your feelings, the more you can go to deeper depths inside, the easier it is for you to also feel other people's feelings, the easier it is for you to also connect to others, the easier it is for you also to be empathetic compared to people who do not feel their feelings. But if you are too empathetic and you're too sensitive in that energy field, you're literally going to feel everybody's feelings all day long. No matter where you go, you're going to pick up on people's emotions and feelings. And no matter what happens, you're going to overthink about it. And something that you know that you're overthinking about it, something you know that you can ignore and avoid, but you literally reach a point where you can't do it. You literally reach a point where you feel like, I can't help but literally find a way to process my emotion first and then function in the 3D life, because it's so much to take, it's so much to process. And of course, if somebody tells you that you're too sensitive or too emotional, you would feud, you would get furious, because this is your armor, this is your superpower that you wear, and you never want to give up on this, you never want to give up on feeling a lot and sensing a lot. But as we grow up, as we process in life, move ahead and through different experiences in life, we often realize that there's a need to balance it. When you are very emotional, when you are connecting to everything at its deeper depths, and you're experiencing heightened sensitivity, it may be difficult for you to literally be in crowded places, be in a space for too long. You may pick up on people's emotions too much, and you may be so empathetic about others that you are not thinking about yourself. And that's where the need for balance is coming in. So, with that being said, these are how the basic way people are feeling their feelings and how the senses are reacting or responding in their system. So, people, whoever has limiting beliefs, today I'm about to share with you something after which you will literally not see limiting beliefs the same way. You will not see your thoughts and feelings the same way, and you would be like shocked. Like, oh my god, like really? never thought of this, but I'm about to tell you something like that. So I have been doing this for 7 plus years. So 7.5 years is a long time. 7.5 years of working with people. And before that, I started reading tarot. So if I calculate that era, I have 9 plus years experience. So 7 plus years, and I literally have seen a miracle in my career. And that is every human being, everyone on earth has the same set of thoughts, same set of feelings, and same set of sensation for every emotion. Like literally, like every human being. And knowing this can be dangerous, and knowing this can also be life saving simultaneously. So, everyone who goes through guilt and shame is going to feel that sense of constriction, is going to feel that enraptured within, and is going to feel like they're getting into shell, or they're going to feel that wall, and they feel like I'm not good enough. Why was I even born? Life is so meaningless. Life is so hopeless. I do not have any hope. I shouldn't show up. I shouldn't be seen. I shouldn't be heard. I don't deserve success. I don't deserve to thrive. I don't deserve things working out for me. I don't deserve to align. I don't deserve to flow. I don't deserve to thrive. All of those thoughts are so common if people are coming from states of apathy. They all have feelings like there's no hope in life. What's the point of life? What's the point of moving ahead with life? It's always going to be this way. I was born to suffer. Things just go back to how it was. Things just never change for me. It's always this way for me. I'm one of those people who always suffer. People who are in the state of anger, they're always going to be in that state of, I'm going to break that thing, I'm going to beat that person up. What does that person think of themselves? How dare that person do that to me? How dare that person be this way? How dare this person do this to me? And a person coming from a state of neutrality will be like, okay, no matter what happened, it must have happened for a reason. What matters is you move ahead and walk ahead in life. It's all good. A person in love is always going to be in the zone of, I'm so happy, I'm in love, I feel love for everyone, I feel love in every part of this planet. I just feel so much of serendipity, so much of love filled in every part of my being. This gush of joy, the sensation of love is just rejuvenating every part of my being. Everyone in peace would be feeling like it's all about peace, it's all about serendipity, tranquility, and being at ease. It's this moment of ease, peace, sensation, and peacefulness. Everyone who's in the state of enlightenment is going to feel like this is it. This is whatever you're experiencing is here and now. It's happening now. It's all that is. And nothing is real. Nothing is also an illusion. It's all just that as it is, and it's what meaning you give it and what you make out of it. It is. And these are common thoughts of everyone who touches those emotions. So each emotion is a frequency. Shame, guilt, apathy are in the lower frequency between 20 hertz to 50 hertz. Anger is around 300 hertz, 200 hertz. Loud, and apathy is around 200 hertz, 300 hertz. Anger is around 300 hertz, 400 hertz. Reasoning is around 400 to 500. Everyone in reasoning is also like, okay, this happened because of this, that happened because of that. Okay, this happened because that happened. All right. Okay, so this and that is connected. So, how is this connected to that? That's reasoning frequency around 300 to 400 hertz. Between 400 to 500, 600 hertz is love frequency. 600 to 700 is peace. 700 and above is enlightenment frequency. So, with each frequency, an emotion is connected, and each emotion is having a set of thoughts. If the thoughts are helping you, those are beliefs. If they are limiting you, they are limiting beliefs. And if you are feeling that restricted constriction of any of those feelings, so we just talked about some of the thoughts related to some of the feelings. So now, when we are talking about guilt and shame, you're feeling that constriction. When you're feeling anger, you're feeling this collision. When you're feeling love, you're feeling this openness. When you're having reasoning, there's this movement, constant restlessness. When you're having peace, there's this opening, that ease, this energy moving upward. When you're feeling enlightened, there's this tranquility of easefulness, of infinite energy of flowing everywhere. And that's how interesting this journey is. So if you are literally in any emotion, there is literally a energetic sensation associated to it. So every emotion is connected to a set of energetic sensation. So literally every emotion can be thus affected by changing your energetics. Like change your energy and change your life. That's as easy as it is. So every body part is again associated to a set of chakra points. We have root chakra, sacral chakra. Root chakra is more connected to 20 hertz, to sacral chakra, and root chakra is in the apathy, rage, shame, guilt, those kind of energy. Then we have your Manipura chakra or solar plexus more in your anger, rage, reasoning zone. Then we have heart chakra in love, peace, serendipity zone. And then we have the peace to enlightenment and ease states of consciousness more from your throat to your crown chakra. So when you are moving from all of these chakras, from your root chakra to sacral chakra to your uh, solar plexus chakra to heart chakra to throat chakra to third eye chakra to crown chakra, it's the same movement of moving from dense energy states where energy is tensed, energy has a lot of meaning to it, energy has a lot of story associated to it, to moving towards neutrality, love, frequency, and expansion. So it's literally like a funnel, and you're moving like you this literally, and it's literally like you're moving from the core, erupting and expanding. Or you can just choose to stay here, not upgrade, not evolve. You can just choose to upgrade a bit, stay here. So when we are talking about upgrading a bit, it's like we often, reach a state of this is what is with most people. And we reach this state of anger, apathy, aggression, and feeling frustrated, shame, guilt, life is hopeless. And then maybe you reach a state of neutrality, like no matter what, you just have to accept things as they are. And you just have to let things go and accept things as they are. And that zone of neutrality. And when you are in that zone of neutrality and you just allow things to be just as they are, we actually have a lot of repressed anger. But you're not tapping there, you're not moving up there, you're just, all right, I just accept things as they are. But you're not just channeling the anger. When you're allowing yourself to channel the anger and feel through it and allow yourself to feel that rage and expand in that rage and get into that confidence, get into that strength and play with that power. You're actually allowing yourself to expand more. So if at the guilt shame category, if you're in the zone of like, I'm so ashamed, I'm so guilty, I'm so hopeless with the apathy energy, I have no hope in life, I just don't know. And then you naturally shift to, but I didn't deserve to go through this. I deserved better. You're naturally having this energetic movement, and this is literal energetic constriction expansion that's happening. So energy is getting constricted when you are in the zone of like, I don't know why, I just don't have any hope. This was meant to be, I was meant to suffer, it's going to be this way. I just have to accept things the way it is. You're getting into that zone. And again, when you are moving into the zone of I didn't deserve it, I will not tolerate it. Literally, there's this energy which is like forming a sediment, is settling down, is just being in this zone of it cannot move, and suddenly there's this flow of energy shift. Like I will not tolerate it to be this way. So this literally there's the movement of energy graph. Like I will not tolerate it's shifting. Otherwise, like a dead person, you're like, this is how it is gonna be. And beyond guilt is the frequency of death. So shame and guilt is very connected to the death frequency. And in death frequency, energy line is straight line, right? So it's more like there's no hope in life. What's the point? It's literally going this way. What is even going to happen if I just have hope? And then it's shifting to I need to have hope in life. I cannot suffer. Enough is enough. I cannot be in the zone of suffering. Enough. I deserve better. I deserve justice. I deserve miracle. You're literally moving out of that zone and getting into that momentum. And then comes in another energy field of reasoning. And reasoning is more like you're going back and forth. Like, do I deserve it? Why do I deserve it? If I don't deserve it, all right, I'll just go back to there because what is the point? If I don't deserve it, I will not go there. No, 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 I will not go there. I will not go there. I don't deserve it. I need the reasoning. What is the reason here? Okay, all right, this is the reason, but this reason is not strong enough. So I just go back to feeling bad miserable because that's what I deserve, I feel, because there's no logic to it. All right, there's logic to it, I moved it, but I just do not have this reasoning pathway. So, this is exactly the energetic movement or sensational flow that's happening. So, when a person is feeling guilt and shame, they're feeling like this energy body, that emotional body is literally constricting. Like your, if you consider it to be a nerve, the nerve is literally becoming like this. It's tapering like this, like tapering the nerve like this. And literally it is not being able to move. And again, whenever there is this, all right, I'm not going to tolerate, I deserve better. You're literally allowing the energy to move and it's just shifting and bursting and popping to the zone of like, all right, it's going to flow now. I deserve better now. And again, you're getting into the reasoning energy of, do I deserve better? All right, if I don't deserve better, then what? All right, then if not this, then this. If not there, then why? How is it gonna be here? Okay, I don't really feel safe to hold it here. I'll go back. So this is the flow of energy that's constantly happening with reasoning, and you're moving here and there, and literally like in different zones, and you are making sense of things to create that energy tapestry. Most people get stuck in that zone of reasoning because it's familiar. That energy of something miracle is happening with them and they're getting out of that zone is too good to be true for them. So they want to stay in that reasoning. So that reasoning is having a lot of familiarity. Like, I don't see logic in this, which means I don't think this is familiar. So I'm not going to go that pathway because if this is not familiar, so I'm not going to allow this, but rather I'm going to dwell here because I don't think this is familiar. I don't sense familiarity here. And this is so like I gotta sense familiarity in this, so I'm gonna stick to this. And that's what keeps people stuck in reasoning. When people move past reasoning to love frequency, they are moving to a zone of neutrality, like, all right, like, or whatever it is, I deserve love. No matter what, I deserve love. No matter what, everyone deserves love. No matter what, it's all about unconditional love. Love is actually the healer. Love is the savior. Love is the savior. And today we are going to demonstrate to you why love is the savior. Like after today, you will go back and tell everyone, like, bro, love is the savior. And your friend is gonna be like, what have you like attended some like enlightenment workshop? And you'll be like, no, it's all about love. And you're gonna have that trait for sure. And when you're getting into this love zone, this love frequency, you're literally starting to feel this energy of openness. Like, no matter what, I feel love. But when you're about to get angry and you're getting into the energy of, I will not forgive that person. There's a lot of constriction and anger and rage and reasoning associated. And you're like, no, I'm just going to let love channel. I'm just going to feel unconditional love. What is happening is that those aspects that are constricted, you're saying, I'm just not going to let this feel clogged. I'm just going to choose to feel good and allow myself not to feel clogged. You're like, no, I shouldn't forgive that person. I'm just going to practice unconditional love. I'm just not going to practice constriction here. I'm just going to practice ease, peace, serendipity here rather than constriction. So when you are getting into the zone of, I'm going to choose love over fear, I'm going to choose easeful flow over constriction. So fear is like, I'm so paranoid, I'm so scared. That example I gave you, your amygdala starts shaking, that's fear. If you're feeling fear, your amygdala is shaking inside. One of my clients the other day, I keep on giving this example a lot to my clients. The other day, my client literally shared a success story with me where she was telling her amygdala, like, amygdala, you need to chill. And that's the kind of teachings I would share always with my clients, that just ask your amygdala to calm down. It's your amygdala which is getting scared. So whenever there is an experience happening which is kind of your body is perceiving as threat, which is literally threatful or not threatful, but you are perceiving it to be threatful, it can be a thought also, your amygdala starts shaking. And then it gives your body the signal that there is something wrong. And then there's excess of cortisol that your body starts producing, which is the stress hormone, and this signal goes to your anterior cingulate cortex, and your anterior cingulate cortex can only think one thing. As the name goes, cingulate cortex, it can actually come to one conclusion. It cannot be in two zones like a reasoning frequency. It's like this or that. So it's like 0 or 1. So it's like, all right, you're feeling threat, so it is. So it gives your executive brain, which is literally the god in you, your prefrontal cortex, it giving the signal to prefrontal cortex or executive brain of yours that execute this as this is it. So your prefrontal cortex is like, all right, thus it shall be, amen. And you are here feeling like this is a verdict from God. This is an intuition. I'm telling you, this is coming through. This is 100% intuition, and that something is going to happen which is wrong with me. And people feel so much of pride to even share wrong intuition because they're like, okay, I am predicting it. I am predicting my downfall. It's like such a moment of pride. And that's not your prediction. That's not your gut brain. That's not your gut talking. That's your trauma response where your gut, Your body, your entire system is kind of hijacked by trauma because you are living in your survival. Your sympathetic nervous system is active. Sympathetic nervous system. To remember this as the name, sympathetic, it's all about sympathy. Your body is getting into all the sympathy, all kind of sympathy your body is seeking for. Like, you need sympathy. Victimhood is all about give me sympathy. Like, I am hurting so much. How can you be so hopeless? How can you be so bad? You should give me that love. You need to have that sympathy for me. How can you not have sympathy for me? That's victim consciousness. And victim consciousness is a part of your survival mechanism. And it's coming from you are suffering, you're supposed to suffer. It's going back to again the frequency game here, your root chakra, sacral chakra game. It goes beyond just your emotions to talk about in chakra ways. So your root chakra is all about your stability. Like, this is how it is, rigidity. Like, I have said this is how it is how it will be. I am supposed to suffer, I am going to suffer. I have to do it the hard way. I have to work hard to become successful. One needs to work hard to be a success in life. You need to really, really work hard. You really need to buckle up and be so hardworking in life. You cannot have it other way. Either you can do it that way or you can do it in a very evil way, like you need to do something wrong, you need to really be selfish, or you need to really hurt people or do something wrong, or be that evil character to do something and get something because you don't get it things easily. And these are your emotions playing, and it's playing chakra flowing in a density where things are being seen through this perspective because the energy is channeling in that formulated way. So a person is feeling bad, is feeling hopeless, a person has gone through a lot of difficult experience in life, there can be different repercussion. The person may feel like whatever I've gone through, I'm not gonna let that go through another person. I shouldn't have gone through it, but I deserve better. They're just getting into this anger more to channeling their heart chakra. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna channel unconditional love. At this point, the person can feel their feelings also, and also at the same time, they're numbing out because they are not allowing themselves to realize what they have gone through. Instead of going through this blame game and feeling that guilt and shame and anger and remorse and how they have been humiliated, the pain from it, instead of channeling that, instead of feeling that, they trying to avoid it. So they are creating that freeze response, or they're creating that wall around it because it's a difficult emotion to feel and think about. So I don't want to feel it. So there's a wall. Simultaneously, the person is being able to feel the feelings also, because the person is like, I'm gonna just channel love. What's risky about it is that the person who's avoiding the lower chakra energies is usually, you will see, is falling sick in the lower chakra energies. Like, they're having, maybe they're falling easily, like they fall down easily, they lose balance, they have issues with their periods, they have issues with their gastric diseases, and that's happening with people in lower chakras. So lower chakra energy is getting affected in this case. So when again a person is again in the state of consciousness where they are having the repercussion of I went through bad, I'm gonna do bad to people also. You need to be a bad person, you need to be evil to do things in life. You need to use people and get things out of people as much as you can, because the world is not a good place. So they have got into a state of consciousness, they have got into a state of zone where their sacral chakra has been affected energetically, and they are tapping into dimensions where things were not easy, and they have stored memories and experiences where people are mostly bad, and their root chakra is also focused on that, and their solar plexus chakra is giving the signal that all right, we need to hold on to more of this energy rather than having empathy, because it doesn't work. What is happening in this case is that the person is affecting the heart chakra energy. They don't want to feel feelings. Every time they are feeling feelings, they're like, oh, I'm being so foolish to feel feelings. There's no point feeling feelings. Nobody cares about people's feelings or something like that. So I'm not going to feel any feeling. I'm not going to dwell with the feeling part, but I am going to instead get into a zone where I don't have to feel feelings, I don't have to do anything, but I'm just going to be confident. They're jumping from their solar plexus chakra directly to their throat chakra. In other words, they are moving from anger to I've been through a lot, I've gone through a lot, I deserve better, enough is enough, ignore what is. Now I'm going to do what people did to me. Now I'm going to be the person who I have seen most people to be. And there's another part which we need to talk about in your brain to make this conversation all the more interesting. So there's this part called reticular activating system, or RAS, in our brain. So RAS is like a part which is responsible for synchronicities. So whatever your RAS will focus on, you will start to see more of that in your reality. Right now, if you program your RAS to think that, okay, color orange, if you think of the color orange and you look around in your room, you will strikingly notice objects that are orange in color. The brain will naturally look for objects and focus on objects that are orange in color. And that's the magic of reticular activating system. So RAS is also playing along with this emotion, energetics, and your thoughts. So, and your chakras. So your chakras are from your energy center. So it's part of your energetics only. But your chakras are again connected to your emotions and thoughts, because each chakra or energy center is associated with a group of emotions, a state of consciousness, and it goes beyond that to your spiritual dimension, connection with God, goddesses, and beyond. So, whenever you are getting into that repercussion of people did bad to me, so I'm going to be the bad person, that I need to be the villain in this reality. So, I have been the good person for a long time. Now it's time to be the villain. That consciousness is actually coming out as a programming, which is your sacral chakra is having a lot of pain, remorse, guilt, shame, humiliation, and rage and anger is coming up. Along with that, you're having apathy of I've been through a lot. And with all the mixed emotion and sensation, along with the person getting numbed out in the heart chakra, a state is formed that the person is like, enough is enough. I'm done with being good. That's when the person literally shifts to those dimensions where they literally feel like, I don't care, I don't have empathy anymore, I'm just done caring for this world. I want to be just like those people who have hurt me. And that's another revocation here. Another revocation is you realize that you've gone through a lot. You realize that there are parts of you that are numbed out. You want to process those parts and work on those parts and balance out all the parts so you can be a being who's flowing without resistance in all parts of your being. So, to be a being who's flowing without resistance, without feeling clogged in parts, to allow that flow, you need to understand the mechanism which we are talking about right now. Once your body knows the mechanism, once you know the mechanism, you are no longer coming from that state of consciousness of trying to control things out of fear, because you're aware what's happening. So far, we have talked about the emotions, the different dimensions of emotions, how it's connected to frequency, how it's connected to the RAS, and how each frequency is having a lot of thoughts associated to it and the different repercussion of that. So I think we have a question. So, all right. So, okay. So going back, so whenever we are in the zone where things are not working for us and we are having inner chatter. What do? You now realized by now that the inner chatter is happening because you are constantly in this state where you are not feeling at ease. You are constantly in this phase where things are just falling apart for you. It's just not making sense for you. And you are constantly having those negative thoughts, you're having emotions that are triggering you. You are having maybe aches in your body, you may have headaches, and by now you know all of the reasons of why it's happening to you. So next time it happens, you will know that, all right, it's happening because of this reason. And this is just a trauma response. So when you are moving towards your parasympathetic nervous system, sympathetic nervous system is the nervous system which is in survival. So when you are moving into thriving, you are secreting a lot of endorphin, oxytocin, and serotonin eventually. Endorphin is like releasing your pain, is transmuting to ease to activate your sympathetic nervous system. So you are in survival, and at the core of your survival is the transmutation process, which is basically you are having excess of secretion of endorphins. Your pain is transmuting to pleasure, and you are getting into the state of parasympathetic nervous system. So when your parasympathetic nervous system is getting activated, you are getting into a state of consciousness where you are coming out of the survival zone to operate from thriving. Whenever a person, the example I have given you in the beginning of the workshop, that a person who's coming from a family where they're easily nurtured, loved, and they have really had a great example while growing up. They've seen parents who are very happy, they've seen happy marriages at home. They really know the moderate way of balancing their emotions. A person who has been reared up in a situation like that is more or less operating from their thriving states. So that person is more or less operating from states of consciousness where they are having parasympathetic nervous system activated. So the person can easily feel states of ease, peace, serendipity, bliss, all the more. But when a person is struggling with survival, a person is struggling with those energetics, is feeling clogged in the energetics, the person is literally barely surviving, is in the survival brain. Now, survival brain used to be strong for our forefathers, ancestors who would go hunting. But we're not hunting, but the survival brain is still strong in you because you were born into a family where more or less almost everybody is operating from survival. There are a group of family dynamics who have broken that path of showing up from survival. Maybe the previous generation has worked on their psychology. Maybe the previous generation has worked on their processes. Maybe the previous generation has worked on their being more meditative, being more calm, being in more states of ease. And because of that state of easefulness, naturally the repercussion that has been is that the family is in total dwelling more in states of consciousness where the family feels more of ease, peace, serendipity. And when naturally that is the case, then the repercussion is that the family is more psychologically healthy, the family is more present with each other psychologically, the family is emotionally more present with each other. The emotional balancing, the way the emotional health is considered, is more balanced in those states of consciousness. And when the emotional balancing is at ease, naturally there's going to be, you'll have family members who are motivating you, who are pushing you to thrive more, to excel more in life, to keep going. You can do it. You have it in you. You are capable. Naturally, you're coming from states like that. So your parasympathetic nervous system is already more strong. So it's easier for a person to then naturally feel more of the presence of oxytocin, more of serotonin. Whereas a person who is coming from extreme survival, who has heard things like, you are good for nothing. Low. Please recharge in time. So if you are
Power off.
you are not good for anything, you are not good for something, you literally are in that position where you literally feel like, oh my god, I'm not good enough, and I'm not good for anything, and I must be a bad person, and something must be wrong with me because I'm not loved, my family has told me so and so, and all these belief systems is keeping you stuck in survival. And where is survival coming from? Because you've been told time and again that, oh, you're not good for anything, you're not good, you're bad, look at that other cousin of yours, you're not that good person, or you grew up in a family where there's a lot of chaos and people just abuse a lot, people just fight a lot, people, there's just a lot of hindrances, there's just a lot of war in your family. So when there's a lot of war, there's a lot of hindrance happening in your family, what's happening is that naturally you are getting into zone, you're naturally getting into states of consciousness where you feel like something is really off. You're always in survival. You're just doing something, you do not know what to do. You want to do this, but then what will your parents say? You want to choose that, but this person may say that. So you're in fond response. So it's like you're trying to please people all the time, or you're in fight and flight response. So with fight and fawn response, a person is naturally going to be in survival. So if you are in that zone where you are in a lot of survival energy, it's natural that your body needs to secrete more endorphins to move to oxytocin and serotonin secretion, which is your love and happiness hormone. So your body is having excess of adrenaline and dopamine at this point when you think of positivity. A person coming from excess of survival, for them positivity is dopamine rush, and their coming down is adrenaline rush. So dopamine rush, adrenaline rush, this is the extreme flow that a person will prefer who's coming from survival. And this is why there's an affinity towards drugs like LSD, ayahuasca, and plant medicine and cannabis, and all of those drugs are increasing your dopamine rate and is also secreting endorphin. And because of that rush from adrenaline to dopamine rush, people crave for it more when they're coming from extreme sense of pain, because they just want to go to the other side. They want to start operating from parasympathetic, but they are not being able to, because it's like they are in a lot of adrenaline fatigue. They're just feeling tired. They're feeling tense. They have a lot of people pleasing aspects, fight and flight aspects. They have a lot of triggers and scars in different dimensions that's stored in them. And those dimensions are making them shiver already. And with each of those thoughts in every dimension, they have a story, they have a belief system associated to it. And that the belief system which is associated to it is already keeping them in a dimension. And that dimension is making them shiver. The dimension is making them feel like I'm not good enough. The dimension is keeping them in zone of like, I can't just trust the process. It's just not going to work out for me sort of zone, because each time they get into those convolutions, so each emotion is, you can consider it to be a different terrain altogether. And in that terrain, there are different dimensions and compartments of emotion or beliefs. And in each belief, they are getting into, and in that shield, they're having their amygdala shake. And the moment their amygdala is shaking, there that aspect is giving signal to the anterior cingulate cortex, like this is some danger, consider it to be a danger, and feel like your body needs to attack back and feel that negative reaction and response, and you literally get into the flight and fight mode. And then there are parts which are frozen. They are like literally not being able to move, and literally they feel stuck and they feel conglomerated, they feel blocked, and literally they cannot move. They cannot really open up more space. They cannot really open up more energy because those aspects kind of feel clogged and blocked. And this clogged and blocked energetics is coming because those parts are naturally giving signal to your amygdala to tell your body that there's something life threatening, and your hippocampus, which is storing memories, is starting to recall like there's something off. You're getting memories of when something went off, and then you're associating the two, and your anterior cingulate cortex is like, oh, this is that, so that is it, because your reasoning frequency is coming in here, and your reasoning frequency is feeling like this is familiar, so this is it, and your anterior cingulate cortex and reasoning frequency are at par, coming to that conclusion and telling your prefrontal cortex that please finalize this. Executive brain, and it's getting finalized. And that's exactly why to move from survival brain to parasympathetic is a process. So when you are in that conglomerated zone of things are not working out for you, you are literally in that energetic dance of things not working out for you, and you're having that push and pull of things not working out for you. You need to realize that this energy clock that's just not moving is something that needs to release itself. And unless and until it's being able to release itself, it's going to continue to create experiences that it's creating. So, to upgrade your inner processor, you need to master tools that I am about to share with you. The tools I will share now are going to be life changing, and you can apply these tools all along all your life. So far till now, in the first half of the webinar, we have talked about the science behind what's really happening, how energetically, emotionally, and sensationally, and thought process wise, how your inner chatter is getting created. Now we'll move on to the segment of unsubscribing to the inner chatter. So I'm going to be giving you a lot of tools to take away, which you can do it at home and apply. And then we are going to move towards upgrading your inner processor. So the first and most important tool that I would love to give you is start writing your negative thoughts and then write your neutral thought and then write a positive thought. So first you're going to write like, oh, it doesn't work out for me ever with relationships. The neutral thought is going to be like, it can work out for me with relationships. And the positive thought you're going to work out, right, is that it is working out for me in terms of relationship. Another example I'll give you. I'm the one who always suffers. That's your negative thought or belief. The neutral belief is that it's possible that I do not have to be the one always suffering. And your positive belief is that I'm the one who is starting to thrive in life. So these are the ways how you shift. Why it's necessary to come to the neutral to get to the positive is because If you are dwelling in the state of like, it's not working out for me, and then literally shift to it is working out for me, your reasoning brain literally is going to be like, how is it possible? Is it really possible? No, it's not possible. It's not meant to be. There's something fooling me. It's not going to work out. Amygdala, take it as a threat. And then your amygdala is like, let's get shaken. Something is wrong. We are not in the safe zone. This is not familiar. And your hippocampus starts recalling memories of where it didn't work out for you. And you start to feel a bit of off because your gut gets hijacked in the process. And then you start to secrete hormones, which are excess of cortisol. And then there's adrenaline rush and fatigue happening in you, and your anterior cingulate cortex is like, so that there's danger, something is wrong, this means this is not going to work out, you shouldn't trust it. And your prefrontal cortex reach to a conclusion like, this is it, you should take it as it is, it's not going to transmute or change at all. And this is a vicious cycle that goes on. And to break that vicious cycle, your logical brain needs to be played with. So when you're playing with your logical brain, you're playing the devil's advocate. You're literally telling your logical brain, like, okay, I understand you think it's not possible. Because amygdala, you start shaking, and then hippocampus, you start recalling the most negative memories. I get it, why it's all happening. So instead of fighting matter with matter, I'm going to realize that all of the feeling I'm having inside, all of the sensation I'm having inside is because of a response that is happening inside. So instead of really bypassing it from negativity to positivity, I'm going to realize that it's because of this inner mechanics, my body is not being able to jump. So I need to come to a state of making my body understand that, bro, it's possible. When you're saying it's possible, your RAS, reticular activating system, we talked about, reticular activating system is thinking of possibilities now, why it's possible. So the moment you're saying it's possible, your RAS is thinking of evidences why it's possible. So when your RAS is thinking of evidences, your hippocampus is starting to recall a positive set of memory. When your positive set of memory is coming up, your cortisol rate is going down and it's transmuting to endorphins. So your pain is being transmuted to ease, and you are literally feeling a little bit of dopamine rush, then a little bit of serotonin, a little bit of oxytocin, and hope is getting balanced in your body, and you're moving into a state where your anterior cingulate cortex is retaining the awareness that, all right, it's safe, it's possible, and allow it, and it's giving prefrontal cortex the allowance that it's possible. So naturally your body is feeling much more positive, is much more at ease, and is naturally then when you're shifting it to, now I have it, what is happening is that the moment you're saying, now I have it, from the state of ease, your dopamine activation is happening. From the state of ease, you're reaching to heightened dopamine secretion of it's happening. I am experiencing it. Miracle is happening in my reality. It is happening now. So that energy is getting activated. So again, on that scale and spectrum we talked about, we are entering love, peace, and enlightenment frequency now by neutralizing the process and moving you from shame, guilt, apathy, anger to neutrality and love. You're moving towards love, harmony, peace, enlightenment frequency. And this is why you need to write negative, neutral, positive. So this is your first tool that you take away today. Now coming to the second tool, which is one of my most favorite tool, which is the access consciousness clearing. You can find out more about access consciousness clearing at accessconsciousness.com. And access consciousness is a modality which was founded by Gary Douglas, and Dane Heer is the co-founder of it. And access consciousness is made to talk to your right brain, left brain, your limiting beliefs, and all that is an energetics and point of views together and shift it. So all your point of views, all your point of destruction, creation, it talks to it all together and shifts it and has a unique tool for it, which I'm about to share with you. It is right and wrong, good and bad, all line shots, boys, poads, and beyonds. So this is a tool that you can just use anytime. Like another access consciousness tool I really like is what else is possible. Like whatever is happening here and you're feeling like this is it, things cannot change and this is over, I just do not have any hope with this, I just don't see a hope. What else is possible? And another way to challenge that belief you're having, that I just don't see hope, there's so much of negativity. All right, interesting point of view. What else is possible? Or you can say, how does it get any better than this? And when something is coming up, any negativity, any trigger is coming up, and whatever this brings up can be now right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shots, poads and beyond it. So when you're seeing it, so you're just clearing the energetics, thoughts, processes, thought, triggers, and you're literally flipping to a different state and point of view. So energetically, there's a flip and shift. Emotionally, also, there's a flip and shift. It's anyway connected. So these are some access consciousness tool that I love that you can incorporate in your life as well. To find out more about access consciousness, again, go to accessconsciousness.com. So there is another modality which I'm really fond of would be Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono has 4 basic lines, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I thank you. It was founded by Dr. Hewlin and his wife Morna, and it's a powerful modality which came from Hawaii, and it's based on the ancient principles that everything that is happening in the external with anybody else is happening inside. So Dr. Hewlin, he literally did Ho'oponopono in a hospital for people who had there were patients who had come. He didn't even meet them, and he was in another room, and whatever was coming up in his body, he was just doing, I'm sorry, I love you, I thank you, please forgive me, that for those aspects. And the people who he hadn't even met healed, and they healed by him healing himself. So there's no one else to heal but yourself. Everyone is a reflection of you. Everybody else is you pushed out. Every human being is a reflection of you. Everyone is you. So whenever you meet a person, you're meeting an aspect within. Whatever the person is bringing up, any memory, any sensation, any aspect, any awareness, any sensation that's coming up from that person's presence, it's already present in you. So whatever is bringing up from that person's presence, you're saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I thank you. So you're like literally telling that to that aspect within. And when you're talking to that aspect, the connection of the aspect inside and outside through your neurotransmitters, energetics, and all that is literally impacting the other person and is creating shifts. And that's because we are all connected and we are all aspects within, we are all molecules in each other, we are all vibrational and molecular beings interacting with each other. And this is one of the most powerful tools which you can apply to shift your thoughts. Now, coming to very quantumy techniques, which I will suggest you to do, which I personally do, and I will suggest anyone to do. And this is an inventory which I have created, and this modality, this technique I'm about to share with you, this is my inventory and my creation, and I'm more than happy to share it with the world and bring forward this modality ahead, because this is life changing. This is completely life transforming in every possible way. So, every emotion you're feeling, so every time you're feeling anger, there's a constriction, right? So, you need to realize that the constriction I'm feeling inside is a cluster of molecules. So whenever I'm feeling that cluster of molecules and the tight fit and squeeze energy is coming in, all I need to do is chill and realize that I need to remove the space. I need to create more space between the molecules. I need to break the cluster of molecules and create more energy space. The moment you start creating more energy space, you will start to feel at ease. So when you're creating space, you may feel like you're energetics. Within those energetics also, there's a cloud. Everything is a molecule. So you just start playing with that furthermore and fragment those aspects furthermore that's clogged, and you're creating more space. So you are creating more spaciousness where it's hurting you. The moment it's hurting you, there's a collision sort of. You're allowing it to have more space, have more opening. You're creating more space and allowing it to breathe. You can actually breathe in the heaviness and breathe out the heaviness through that part that is hurting. You can literally open up more space inside. You can continue to create more space and expand those aspects that are hurting. So every time you feel like I can't move on, things can't move for me, things are always going to be this way for me. All right. That's because you feel like you can't stop this energy that's squeezing and pushing at the core to disperse. You choose to create gap and disperse that and create more space so that those energy and aspects can flow. Those energy and aspects can create that more space and can burst and be in that ease and flow. So you create more space. You continue to swim through life, rather. Every time there's something, you just elongate the space and continue to flow. You just elongate the space and continue to flow. You just elongate the space and continue to flow. This is my favorite go-to technique. Another, of course, favorite go-to technique I have is purging. Purge your heart out. Whenever you have a lot of stuff coming up, purge your heart out. But there is a typical way to purge, which I'm about to teach you. I call it strategic purging. So, what is strategic purging? You keep in mind the thoughts, emotions, and energetics simultaneously. There's just four basic questions of strategic purging when applying quantum integration therapy. The first question is that what's going on? And you rant, and share the story and whatever is coming up, and you just do not hold back a layer of it, don't have any filter to it, and just purge your heart out, rant your heart out, and let out everything that is in your system. You just rant everything that is in. Second step is that how do I feel about it? So first one, you've rant your heart about the experience, thoughts. Now you're moving into the most important questions, the next three questions. How do I feel about what I just wrote? So you may feel, I feel devastated, I feel angry, I feel sad, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. You may even say I'm feeling numbed out. So whatever you have written in the second answer, which is how you are feeling, the emotion part, you're going to the third part. What is the sensation beneath? So you start locating the feeling in your body, like where am I feeling it? All right, it's in my heart. There's a clog, a ball sort of an energy that's hurting me. Okay, it's a prick sort of energy that's in my heart that's pushing me. It's a needle sort of an energy in my heart. It's like a tapering energy in my nose. It's like a clog or block. You just write that in the third answer, like what is the sensation? Now coming to the fourth question, which is very associated to the technique I just mentioned to you. You ask that, how can I create more space here and feel good? So you start creating those energetic space, you just creating that energetic ease, state of sensation within, and create that space all the more. Another method that you can apply is that wherever you're feeling that clog, breathe in the heaviness, breathe out through it. Breathe in through the heaviness and breathe out through the heaviness, as if you are playing with a dandelion. Like literally, you are going to breathe it out through it. So these are some takeaway tools that you can incorporate in your day-to-day life to unsubscribe to your inner chatter permanently. If you would like more support, I have like some marvelous tools in house, like love attraction, intimacy. When it comes to your relationship, it has got some 3K views as a course. Like, it's a marvelous course which has gotten me the most amount of success stories. Then I have Know Your Potential. It's to elevate your self-concept and release all the limiting beliefs that is coming up with your self-concept, and release it and shift it for you. Then I have a tool literally for clearing your money beliefs and health beliefs. There's tools we have for third party removal, no contact situation, and parental approval. Also, we have tools like if your parents are not approving of the marriage, for that also as well, we have tools. And all these tools are infused with quantum integration therapy, limiting belief clearing, and access consciousness clearing. So we talk about the different realms and layers of different thoughts coming up, and clear those energetics associated to those thoughts and emotions, and bring in more sensational ease in those layers, and help you to create shift in every minute simultaneous possible thought when it comes to your limiting beliefs. And I have actually encompassed all my possible tools in one course, and it's just available for what, like $597. It has like every possible tool you need to get your ex back, to improve your relationship with SP, to work on your self concept, to attract more money, to literally elevate your consciousness in every possible way. There's literally a course that I have crafted for it, and it is phenomenal. But just with the course, you may not really see shifts if you have a lot of layers added on. So of course, you can always come to me for coaching sessions, and I have like a plethora of them usually in a package. My usual packages contain like 30 session packages or 21 session packages, and they are literally life changing. And I also usually include WhatsApp chat support, where I usually send subconscious rewriting scripts. So there's unconscious and subconscious rewriting tools I just told you about to my clients, and I help them to rewrite their subconscious. And along with that, I usually do Reiki and spells to really shift their energetics, and which we'll talk about once we are talking about upgrade inner processor. Those are more tools of upgrading your inner processor rather than unsubscribing to inner chatter. Unsubscribing to inner chatter is more of subconscious and unconscious belief clearing, your limiting beliefs clearing, working on your survival brain to shift to a state where you're moving to operate from your parasympathetic. I literally have coaching programs dedicated to this for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year programs, which are bound to shift your life and change the trajectory of your life for sure. And to avail that and to work with me, you can go ahead and contact me, and I would love to give and share with you all the details. And you will be marveled at how and what ways your energetics can really shift and create magical transformations and manifestations in your reality. We'll talk about how that happens and the science behind manifestation in the second half of the workshop today. But before that, I wanted to introduce you to some tools that we have in house to unsubscribe to the inner chatter, and of course, also to upgrade your inner processor, which will be coming to. So, with that being said, these were some tools that you can incorporate to unsubscribe to your inner chatter. Another unique way of dealing with this unsubscribe to your inner chatter is revision technique. Like, revision might not be easy for a group of people, but I come from a dysfunctional family and I had a childhood which was not very soothing, with bully wounds, with dysfunctional family dynamic, parents having separation and issues amongst themselves. You can imagine the chaos. There was a time till which I was not a huge fan of revision, but as time passed and I started to do a lot of inner work, I became a huge fan of revision because I literally started to see its magical impact. But till a point of time, I was not a huge fan of revision. So if you're not a huge fan of revision and if you're coming from a lot of dysfunction, it's absolutely normal. Revision is basically like going to your childhood and revising the entire process. Like, if you had a difficult childhood, if you had a difficult past relationship, you had a difficult past in general, you just change the story to, oh, I had such a wonderful childhood. Life was so easy for me all along. Life has always been easy for me. Life has always been magical for me. Everything in my life has come easy to me. Everything in my life is so amazing. All my life since childhood, it's been so magical. It's been so happening. It has all always worked out for me. People have been so sweet to me. Life has actually been great. Like, I've been that person for whom everything works out. I've been that person who is like that lucky being on planet Earth. That's kind of revision technique. And another technique, if you are not very comfortable with revision, you can do is changing your perspective. Like, all right, that happened because I had something to learn from it. It happened to make me a strong person. Whatever I went through was needed for me to come here till this point and experience the kind of success I'm experiencing right now. All of that I went through created the needful pressure in me. This is something I do a lot in my life, and these are belief system I personally am ingrained with. So I'm just sharing with you what has worked for me. So maybe it can work for you too. And this is how I personally see this world. This is how I personally see life. This is how I do my things daily. And this is my secret also to get 6300 plus success stories in just 7+ years. So whatever you have been through, it was for a reason. It was all for good. And it had to happen to create that necessary pressure to happen so that this very moment, the trajectory of life could shift and the manifestation that you desire is coming to your life. It's because of that, it's so necessary. No matter what happened, all of that happened in perfect timing, in absolute harmonious ways, because all of that had to happen in those ways to create those needful pressure in different dimension and convolution, to create that energy surge, to break everything apart and create a shift and change in the trajectory of life. Whatever happened, whatever is happening right now is happening in perfect timing, in divine synchronicity. And right now, all that has to happen, all that's happening has to happen in this order, in this perfect synchronicity for me to get what I desire. Everything that's happening, everything that's working out in my reality, however it's working out in my reality, it's working out this way. There's pressure being created, there's movements happening this way. Whatever is happening that way is happening because it has to happen this way to get me ultimately whatever I'm asking for. So nothing is a waste. Even if somebody is cursing or putting hex or black magic or whatever, it's required and needed, and it's in perfect divine sync for it to create that inner surge and pressure to ultimately create that vortex of reality where I am receiving whatever I desire. And this is just a playfulness with the perspective to really transmute everything in your favor. You give everything the meaning of how is it helping you. You literally take everything in its face value of like, okay, this is helping me and this is a contribution in my acceleration. So how is it contributing? So this is where you play with that logic energy to positively impact you. Instead of negatively impacting you, you're playing with logic to activate your RAs to think of possibilities in your hippocampus of how is it in your favor? How is it already working out? So you're giving your amygdala signal of it's safe. Let us find out how it is safe. Like you don't need to worry. Like let us find out why we don't need to worry for sure. And this is a remarkable methodology that you can incorporate in your journey. And I assure you, your journey is going to be easier than ever. Like, it's one of the most life changing methodologies that has helped me all my life. Like, I grew up in a dysfunctional family. So naturally, I have seen my parents fight like hooligans and shout on top of their voice. And growing up with a family where there's a lot of narcissistic relatives, narcissistic abuse happening, naturally there will be people who look down upon you, who naturally make you feel like you're not good enough, who naturally compare you to others. So literally you are in a position in that kind of a family where you're always in self-blame, self-critical, feeling terrible about yourself. Your self-esteem and concept is literally attacked. So when you are in that kind of position, you need a way out to really deal with things. And one of the best ways for me to deal with things, well, whatever, like these guys are shouting and doing things because Monday I'm going to be super successful. And they are just preparing me for that. I had that thought literally as a 4-year-old me. And I'm thankful to God for dawning upon me that consciousness as a child. And I have been dealing with everything all my life with this perspective. Like, whatever is happening for good. How is it happening for good? I'm always looking for the how it is happening for good logic, and I'm integrating it in my system. And this is something I do personally, and it has worked out for me. But recently, I'm also applying a lot of revision in my life because I realized the science behind revision, which brings us to the science of manifestation, which we will now start talking about, which is the upgrade your inner processor part. So daily, a human being is having 60 to 70,000 thoughts. If 60 to 70,000 of your thoughts are negative thoughts, imagine what kind of a reality are you going to create? And then you tell me that things are not working out, Shri. Why is it not working out? Because of your thoughts. You create a reality based on how you think, feel, sense, and vibe. Your vibe creates your reality. Your point of view creates your reality. Your perspective creates your reality. With that being said, you are literally a reflection of your current thoughts, your current reality, your current dwelling place, and you can only imagine, think, and expect in life based on what you have been exposed to, what you have experienced. What we talked about when we were talking about unsubscribing to the inner chatter about familiarity, that whenever you're getting into the reasoning loop and your brain is like, oh, it's familiar logic. So your brain is calling like, oh, this is logic, or oh, this is familiar. That's where you are allowing yourself to move. You're not allowing yourself to move past a threshold that you have put yourself in. Like there's a threshold, and you are like, I'm not going to move past this threshold because this is going to be a lot of stretch for me. But success comes out of your comfort zone. That stretch is needed for you to come out of your comfort zone. But now you have that ultimate key to stretch. So you just know that, all right, if I can't stretch and I'm feeling the clog, I need to just expand the molecules here. I need to just expand that structure of molecules and create more spaciousness here. Instead of having the clustered molecules, particles, I need to make it more spacious. Instead of making it solid, I need to make it liquid and gaseous in nature. So the molecules cannot be so compactly packed. It has to be loosely packed. So I'm going to loosen the molecules. I'm going to play with the molecules, and I'm going to create more ease here. I'm going to create more flow here. So the divine feminine essence, the ease energy, the flow energy, the Reiki energy, the Shakti energy, the source energy, the life force energy can flow through me. I can dance through the energetics. I can dance with the energy and flow to create the trajectory and reality I would like to create. And for that to happen, for that structure to get created, I must move past all the hindrances, all the caricatures, all the dimensions that's held and tightened in me, but I need to allow myself to flow liquid, lucid energy. And dance is a magical tool that can get you there. So if you really want to shift your energetics and you feel clogged and you're not being able to move, join a dance class. Join energy dream classes. And you're wondering like, how on earth am I going to join energy gym classes? You can just contact me and start your quantum integration therapy journey. And we do a lot of energy gym and a lot of energy synthesis and energy shift and energy trajectory shifting exercises in the sessions. Like quantum integration therapy is a modality which is filled with modalities and always downloads modalities because it's always upgrading and always accelerating with the ascension energy flow. And it's an ascending modality which is ever expanding with the latest cutting edge tools to transmute your life emotionally and energetically and help you manifest the life that you always desired. Manifestation happens in survival as well as in your parasympathetic nervous system. So whenever you're in your survival, you can manifest things, but to manifest things that are out of the box, which are like life changing, and you really are looking for that manifestation to show up, that you actually have resistance towards, you need to move towards your parasympathetic nervous system. So for all of those people manifesting their SP, manifesting their client, manifesting career success, manifesting transformation related to health, all of you need to start with realizing that Manifestation is always happening. Everything is a manifestation. Whenever you are having a lot of walls in your energy and you're feeling clogged and feeling like things are not working out and you're scared and that fear is leading to a rash or a gastrointestinal disease, that's a manifestation of your unprocessed emotional and energetic wounds, which your body could not really channelize well. So it channelized through that, so that through the healing of that symptom, this core issue can ultimately be addressed and healed. So manifestation is happening in the survival as well as in your thriving states of consciousness. We are always manifesting. Everything is a manifestation. So if you are feeling excited and exuberant, it's a manifestation of how you are feeling. If you are feeling sad and hopeless and have no energy, that's a manifestation of your emotion, energetics, belief system, body language, experiences, and all that is. So everything is literally a manifestation. We are constantly manifesting. Everything is constantly getting manifested. Everything is a manifestation of something. Everything is an effect of something. There's a cause, there's an effect. There's a cause, there's an effect. That's manifestation, the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect leads to attraction. There's a cause, there's the effect. The effect is what you're attracting. So, based on the assumption, you are attracting the effect. The cause is the assumption, or the cause is there, and beyond the cause, you are assuming and giving a meaning to the cause. And upon giving meaning to the cause, you are attracting a manifestation of the meaning you have given to the cause. So everything literally is a manifestation of something or the other. So when we are talking about I am manifesting, oh, you're always manifesting. So when you are talking about upgrading your inner processor, manifesting realities that are more desired reality, more desired possibility, that's where law of attraction and assumption comes in and the practices comes in and you start applying it. There are like so many tools of manifestations that I'm going to give away today that you can incorporate. But the key to manifest anything is to realize that your vibration, your emotion, beliefs all have to be in one point. Your belief, emotion, energetics, vibe, expectations all have to be in one line so that they can just get pushed out, or it has to be in alignment so it can get pushed out. The root core aspect that has to be integrated within you is alignment. So there's a gap between your desire and your current reality, which has to be filled in so that you get that desired manifestation of what you were looking forward to. Otherwise, the reality that you do not like is also a manifestation of your thoughts and expectations and feelings that you've had previously. So when a person is moving to the state of manifestation where they are consciously creating their reality, when they're consciously birthing their reality into existence with conscious creation, the person has to move through the states of samadhi. Otherwise, the person is going to be creating realities from survival, and it is all manifestation. Like, to create more crisis out of crisis is a manifestation. So if you are in a stage where you are like, all right, I want to be with that guy, but maybe it was still here. Things are supposed to be till here. When you're saying that, there's a part of you which is operating from sympathy or victim consciousness. So automatically that part is like, wow, I just said that, so I must be so great. I must be such a wonderful human being to give up, because you have been conditioned and programmed by the society and everyone out there that love is sacrifice. Movie and everywhere that love is sacrifice. When you give up, you become a greater person. So naturally, that ego instinct is playing in a person when a person is choosing that I just give up and I just do not want. Maybe suffering is what my life is all about. When the person has chosen that, simultaneously the person is having that expectation that now everybody should just sympathize with me and tell me that what a great achievement I have because I have sacrificed on love. And you may end up people also, you end up manifesting people actually that who are coming and telling you that, wow, you've done such a wonderful job. That's your self concept, because you just said that now people should come and tell me that, wow, I have done such a wonderful job to just give up, because it's so not easy to give up. And you are thinking it's the cause, and you're seeing the effect of the person coming and telling you that you should give up, and you're like, wow, that's a sign from God. It's not a sign from God, it's your manifestation, because you just thought that I have done something great by sacrificing my desire, and now people should come and tell me that you're so great to sacrifice your desire. That's your self concept, and that's the thought you're putting out. People are always hearing your thoughts. So you have put out the thought that I should just suffer. And people are hearing that, all right, let's just go and tell this person that you have done a wonderful job, because you have passed on that thought to that person that you should tell me this. So I am expecting you to tell me this. And they are telling that. Another way to put it is that your amygdala is shaking whenever you're having that negative thought. And immediately your amygdala is telling hippocampus to recall memories, and your hippocampus is recalling a trauma infused belief that love is sacrifice. You read it in that book, you came across this theory in that Shakespearean novel, so you need to implement this. And when you implement this, you're doing really great. And immediately there's a lot of cortisol in your body, and your body is getting filled with excess of stress hormone, and you're feeling that clogged, stiff energy, and you're feeling like this is the dharma, karma that God is sending me, and I'm supposed to suffer in this squeezed up pain. It's cortisol. It's not your gut, my child. It's your cortisol. And you are feeling like this is it, and then your cortisol is overreacting, and then your cortisol is telling dopamine to get rushed up, and your adrenaline fatigue is coming in, and then your ACC is like, all right, this is it. We need to draw a conclusion. This is it. And your reasoning frequency is like, yes, this is it. This is the logic. This is familiar. This is how it has to be. It's done. Executive brain, allow it. And then you're like, I'm meant to suffer. This is my expectation because this is my fate. It's not your fate. It's that clogged up state of consciousness, nothing else. And that's what is getting reflected. And that's exactly what is happening. So whenever you are having another instance, say your person is telling you that I don't want to commit to you. Just today, in fact, one of my clients had shared this, that I finally had a talk with my SP. He unblocked me from everywhere, but he's still hell bent on saying that he doesn't see a future with me. All right. Your SP has said that. is the circumstance. So everything that is happening, everything that people are saying, every experience that's happening, every thought you're feeling, everything is a circumstance. So what comes under circumstance is everything, inside and outside. Inside is inner circumstance, outside is external circumstance. So internal or external, it's circumstance. So you're having a feeling and a thought associated to it, circumstance. Somebody said something, circumstance. Somebody might feel something, circumstance. Somebody has already said something, circumstance. Somebody will say something, circumstance. All these are circumstances. So your SP has said that, oh, I don't see a future with you. I cannot marry you. This is it. And the moment your SP says that, you feel like this is it. Your SP has said that. This is set in stone. You cannot change it. This is the manifestation. This is done. Your anterior cingulate cortex is saying this is done because there's that stiffness of cortisol, and your gut feels off because your gut is hijacked, because your adrenaline fatigue, your adrenaline rush, your excess of cortisol, your dopamine rush, your at the same time endorphins being released, all of that has created a chaos, and your gut is got hijacked, and you feel like this is your intuition, gut feeling, but it's that energy strand of your nervous system which has been clogged. And what do you do here? The tool that I have already given you, you disperse the space. Instead of it being a tightly packed solid, you loosely pack it. So what is a solid reality? What is anything solid object? This is solid. Why is it solid? Because the molecules are tightly packed. Why is it liquid? Because the molecules are loosely packed. Why is this space gaseous? Because the molecules are far more loosely packed. So that's the difference between solid, liquid, and gaseous. So a solid circumstance, a person has said something, it is hurting, it's solid. Matter is colliding against matter because you are trying to, somebody has said something, you feel bad. There's a collision. You are feeling bad, your SP has said this. There's this collision. This will continue to create the collision and stiffness in your body, and you'll sometimes feel that rush of dopamine which LSD and drugs give, and you will feel that positivity rush, and again you will come back to feeling that stiffness. And tell me yes or no, this is happening with you already. The key is you need to realize this stiff structure, the molecule here has to be loosened. So you cannot change the structure of the physical reality. What did Neville Goddard say? There's nothing to change in the physical reality, but you have to change yourself. The physical reality is a reflection. To change the physical reality is just like going and breaking a mirror and expecting your reflection to change. So what you need to change is inside, so that the physical reality is reflecting, alters in its composition, so that the reflection is according to the altered state of your composition. You need to get into altered state of consciousness. Altered state of consciousness is alteration, not like getting into a trance state and becoming enlightened. Alter is alteration, like anything this or that, alter, like alternative reality, not this, that. So you need to take an alternate pathway. To take an alternative pathway, you realize that this collision that's happening, I need to, simple as this. This is like this collision. How do I fit this in? I have to open up, hold more space, let this in, allow this alteration for this alignment to happen. Similarly, you have to realize that this collision that you're having, that, oh my God, my SP said this. Oh my God, the physical reality looks like this. Oh my God, this is it.
So I'm going to feel that collision, like there's a conflict, I'm going to feel more conflict. There's a conflict, I'm going to feel more conflict. It's like this, but it's like moving through. And to have that breakthrough, to move through, you need to hold that space. Whenever two boxers are fighting, they're looking for that loop to just move through that. Whenever there is a football match, they're just playing with the ball to just find that way to just dodge it and throw it, slide it through the goalpost. They're just moving past the players and just moving from there, and they're just dodging the ball and playing with it and just to slide it and move through. They're not just fighting with the person or just holding with the ball and just stiffening like this, and the whole place would just halt and just they would just do tug of war with that, right? So the key is to create space. Whenever someone is not talking to you or something, give that person space. We say that, right? It's all in the saying. It's actually all there. It's already been here. Wordsworth knew about this. Shakespeare knew about these. So these knowledges have always been there. No great creation can happen from states of survival. Any creation done from survival will have its pain and wounding to it. Any creation made out of joy and radiance is a journey. You're moving from pain to harmony. And manifestation is also a journey where you're moving from suffering to a state of thriving when you just create your reality and instead of calling it unconscious. So another aspect that people do with the unconscious aspect is that the God card, the religion programming, the spiritual programming, and all of that. It's like you shouldn't play the God. You shouldn't be choosing that. That's for God to choose. If it's in my fate, if God wants, that is it. Again, manifestation theories will tell you that you are the God. Well, you are literally the God because there's nothing else but God. We are literally God having human experience through us. We are just vessels through which life force energy is flowing. Life energy is flowing. We are breathing. It's a miracle happening where this life force energy, this life flowing mechanism happening certain way, and every human being is moving through that mechanism same way. Life force energy is flowing. And where is the life force energy coming from? Who is life force energy? Where is this prana? Where is this energy of life flowing through us? Who is life? What is life that's flowing through us? Who is this energy beneath life that is flowing through us? What is the energy of life that's flowing through us? And that very energy of life, that very energy of life force is that of God, which is flowing through us all. And it is because of that energy, the movement of that energy, the movement, the game, the flow of that energy that's giving us that structure to be, to flow, to exist, and to just propel forward in life. And that's the energy of God. And literally, we are God because everything is God. There's nothing in this planet that is not God. The trees, the leaves, the water bodies, the animals, us, the entire planet. Who has created such perfection into existence? Who's the master beneath every one of us? Who's all our masters? Who's but flowing through us all? And it is God. And it is God having an experience and contact and flow with all that is. And as God is flowing through us, as vessels, we are just conduits through which the energy of God is flowing. And God is operating on a vibrational realm. God is operating on a physiological realm. emotional realm, thought process, in every possible way God exists, because through every organ God's energy is flowing. Through every organ we are experiencing the magic of God. How on earth is everyone's heart and lungs and different body parts functioning the same way? How on earth is the mechanism of other people's lungs and heart and eyes and nose and muscles are all flowing in the same way? It's a magical, marvelous miracle. We are a product of life-changing miracle. And it is definitely the energy of God flowing through us all. So we are all literally God having a human experience. So anything can be manifested out of nothing, out of thin air, right at this moment, because the energy of God can just channel from this form to that form in seconds like magic, because we ourselves are a product of magic and miracle of God. And when this energy, this flow, this magical energy of God is flowing through us, is that energetic connection with another human being, the emotional energy with another human being, the thought and everything all together is conglomerating to create this beautiful synergistic flow, and we are calling it life. And it's a precious gift from God, and we are blessed to have it, and we are but magical beings and expressions of God having a human experience. And it is God that is channeling through us, and it is God that is flowing through us. And the energy of God, the energy of magic can just flow through any area, any realm, and transmute all that is, and shift the trajectory of life, and start to create magical transforming shifts, back to back miracles in our reality. And that's because we are literally God having a human experience, and we are vibrational being having a human experience. So a few tools that I would love to give you to manifest. One of them, of course, would be, which you have already got, which you can apply for unsubscribing to the inner chatter as well as upgrading your inner processor, which is creating space. Whenever there is clogged energy, all right, I cannot fight matter with matter. So I need to create space. I need to make these molecules loosely packed instead of tightly packed. I need to chill instead of react. Instead of reaction, it's time for molecular structural alteration. And that's the perspective you need to be in to fast forward this trajectory of your manifestation journey. So, whenever you are having any kind of thought and limiting belief, like it's not supposed to happen because I'm supposed to suffer, you need to see and refer back to this entire 3 hours journey and check in that, all right, what am I doing here? Which emotion am I dwelling in? Which state am I dwelling in to create this replication here? So if you are in the zone of like, I should just remain here and there's no hope for me, and I know this will not change. I just do not want it to change. I just want to continue to suffer. It's again your anger, and you've gone through a lot of apathy of life has been bad to you, maybe humiliation and all of that has happened to you. So it's a mixed bag of emotion and experiences and memories flashing up, where you literally reach a state where you're like, I will let the matter be exactly as it is. And I'm going to wait for some other power outside of me to come and change it for me if it exists. And it will because you are manifesting it. Because you're not saying if it exists, you're actually saying that it exists and it will come and save me. And that's a manifestation. So whenever we are saying that I am feeling a lot of clog and pressure, and now I choose the my God self to come and rescue me and create miracle for me, and I want to be surprised and act like I did not create it and my unconscious mind created it, and I will act like it's a surprise and miracle. That's one way of approaching it. Another way of approaching it is that no matter what is happening, I realize that I create my reality. So I'm going to choose to shift this. And I love myself enough. So I choose this to shift and everything to shift for me and change it. And as God, as my highest self, as energy, I am going to create this shift as other people. I'm going to create this shift because everyone is me pushed out. So as everyone, as me, I'm going to create this shift for me. And as everyone, I'm going to choose to think this way for me. And I believe that this has already happened. The shift has already happened. And I am experiencing this miracle because I am the miracle. This is another perspective to deal with it. So whenever you are getting into this dimension of it is not going to work out, I have to suffer. Understand that, all right, I'm doing a lot of survival and drama energy of I have to suffer. It's always going to be here because my subconscious and my hippocampus has memories from serials, movies, and people that you usually do this when something is wrong, and that's how the main character energy plays out. You usually do it and you usually suffer, and that's also quest of the body and the energy field to do it, to kind of get into a state where we finally feel like I've suffered a lot, I've gone through a lot of suffering, now I don't need to suffer anymore, but really can allow things to move forward. So now coming to the takeaways for you for upgrading your inner processor. There are going to be like so many tools I'm going to be telling you right now. So the first theory that I would like to explain to you would be everyone is you pushed out, which is a very Neville Goddard theory. So everyone is you pushed out, and everyone is constantly thinking things you are saying. Like people are always projecting your thoughts. So things that you expect another person to think about you, how you expect another person to see you, how you expect a situation to play out, it is playing out that way because you are having an expectation. So by changing your assumption and your expectation, so this is a mixture of law of expectancy and law of assumption. So by changing your expectation and changing your assumption, how people are thinking, like if you think like, oh, my boss just does not like me, or oh, that person just does not like me, you shift it to the first exercise I had given you, a neutral zone. Oh, there's a possibility that they can like me. Oh, this may be just thought where I am just solidifying this reality too much. So I just need to maybe loosely pack this molecular cluster. Or, okay, it's my amygdala just feeling threatened and giving the signal and is creating excess of cortisol. I have it in my control. It might not be a gut feeling. So you have created a shift in the pattern. So now you have created a shift in the pattern. You are introducing the new thought that, oh, that person really loves me. My boss actually is so fond of me. In fact, my boss is thinking that I am so hardworking, talented, and amazing. My boss is so proud of me. Oh, that person is so willing to work with me because the person is really fascinated by me altogether because I'm so cute, I'm so amazing, I'm so learned, I'm so knowledgeable, I'm so valuable, and anyone will love me. So these are ways you change assumption, like, oh, my partner then definitely loves me. If you have negative self concept or negative thoughts like, no, that's not true, people don't love me, how can people love me, I'm not loving, there's a part of you here who wants to hear, yeah, you're loving, yeah, you're caring. And I know it's like better to hear it from another person. It just feels good and exciting. But that part is like, I don't know, nobody is telling this. So it's again getting angry also. Like, nobody is telling me I'm good enough, nobody is sympathizing with me. So the victim is like, ah. So it's like a way of universe moving you towards anger and just feuding out to get into the state of consciousness of realizing you create your reality. And that's your body just making you realize, because it's a very natural process. So you are getting into the zone of like, I'm not good enough, my partner might not love me, this person might not like me. If you're getting into that zone, you need to realize that, all right, I'm getting into this, I need sympathy, I'm in victimhood consciousness because I need sympathy. All right, so here's a technique you can apply. All right, I need sympathy. To activate sympathy, I need to give myself sympathy. So, oh, they are seeing me as the most loving person. Or you can change it to, oh, they are so capable of seeing me as the most loving person. So now they are seeing me as the most loving person and they are actually sympathizing with me. They're actually telling me that how amazing I am. They're actually coming and telling me that, oh, I rock. They're actually coming and telling me that they love me like. This is a state of consciousness that you can incorporate to immediately shift that state of getting into extreme negative self concept and immediately playing with the assumption. So, this brings us to the end of law of assumption and law of expectancy. And now we will be moving on to law of attraction. So, law of attraction is you get what you already have. So, you need to say that you already have it. So, you're already married, you already have 15 lakh rupees, you already have best of friends in life who really have your best interest. You really have that good health condition. You really have all that success. It's already done. You already have it. You're already dwelling in that frequency where it's already happening. So everything is frequency. So you are already in that frequency where it's happening, it's working out, things are falling in place. When you are there, naturally your RAS is going to think like, all right, how is it true? Your hippocampus is going to start recalling memories of how it's true. Your amygdala is going to be feeling safe. Your cortisol rate is going to go down, your dopamine level is going to be at ease, you'll have more serotonin and or the most oxytocin secretion, you will have a lot of ease, you have a lot of more endorphin secreted, you'll be in that state of joy, your frequency will hold that state, you will see more evidences and synchronicities, and everything is going to get pushed out. Whatever you're assuming, that assumption is going to get pushed out, your expectations are going to get pushed out, and you will start vibing with a reality where it's actually happening. With that being said, now moving on to my favorite theory, which is filling up the gap. So, law of attraction can work for certain aspects, but when it comes to aspects where your emotions are involved, law of attraction might not really work, because it's not very easy to just get into the state of, I have it, it's all working out for me, when it's not working out for you. So, what is the gap to fill up when that is the case? Is you fill up the gap. So, your current reality is like, oh, I don't have it. Your desired reality is, I have it. So, you have to jump from current to ideal reality. So, the way to jump, there are various ways to jump. I'll show you various ways to jump right now. The first way is to see where you are here. Like, I just see that I don't have it in my current reality. What are my stories? Right? So you write down your stories and you understand your stories related to the current reality and what are the beliefs and thoughts. Once you know the beliefs and thoughts associated, you see that what is stopping you to go to point B. So I am at point A. What's stopping me to go to point B? That's your second layer of analogy, that what is stopping me, what can be the emotions, what can be the reasoning and aspects, what are the aspects that are scared, what can be the fears coming up. You start to work on those aspects. Each time you work on a block or layer, that layer shifts and it gets into another layer. So once you have worked on one layer, you're getting, this is your destiny, so you're getting closer. So again, more layers are coming up, you're realizing what to work on, you adjust the vibrations, you work through it by playing with the molecular structure or working with the emotions and energetics, understanding what's happening. You process that, you move. Again, you process that, you move. And ultimately, you merge with your ideal reality. This is my favorite, most go to technique whenever I have to manifest anything big in my reality and I'm not being able to imagine, which I'll talk about later, another technique or get into. I have. This is a go to technique I will any day go for, which I love doing, and it really works for me. First, you see point A. What is my current reality? What are the stories? What are the feelings? What are the sensations? What's affecting me here? And what's stopping me to go to point B? Whatever comes up, all right, maybe suppose you are manifesting a relationship and you come to a point that, all right, I feel he will come back, but I think he may not come back because what happened in the past. So first, maybe you were like, oh, I don't think he'll come back. After that, you have seen the stories, aspects, and you've come to a state of, I think he may come back, but I'm not sure or when. So when you reach that, you again work on, why am I not sure? What is the story, or what is the feeling associated to this? What is the emotion here? What is the sensation associated to this? Why am I feeling this way? What could be the aspect that's affecting me here? What is it that I'm solidifying here? What needs to be loosely packed here? So once you realize that, maybe you will shift to another vibrational point. That is, all right, he will come back, but now I don't know when. So now that you don't know when, so you're like, oh, what is the story related to when? What is my hippocampus storing with memories related to when? Why am I thinking the when part? Why do I think it may not happen? What are the other emotions and aspects and stories? And this is where coaching and quantum integration therapy comes in, or working with a mentor comes in, because to do this part alone is not going to be easy unless you're a professional. I've been doing this for 7+ years and I've been doing this all day with my clients. I just could go on talking about it. I mean, like talking non-stop for the last 3 years. And I can go on talking for another 3 hours about this and just bring you the theories and aspects and integrate in your system, because I've been doing it all day long. Practice really transmutes your skills. So this is why working with a coach or a mentor can really help to fast forward the journey here, because otherwise it's a never ending process of questioning and again going back to states. Because when you're working with me, it will take me seconds to remind you that, okay, that's your hippocampus, okay, that's your trigger holding you back, okay, your molecule needs to be loosely packed. But for a person who's just listening to it, integrating all of those aspects and applying it is a process. So keep on watching this workshop again and again to imbibe it in. And of course, you can come back and work with me and take those tools to fast forward your journey and time compress and get things done, which can take you 10 years and like next 1 to 2 years. So when you're again asking questions like, okay, when, what are the aspects here, you may even reach a state like, all right, I know he's going to come back, he's coming back, but he's not here yet. I'm not feeling he's already here yet. Again, you work on that layer of, all right, I'm not feeling he's exactly here yet. What can be the story related to it? What can be the sensation related to it? What can be the aspect held back here? What can be playing out here that I'm not being able to get in the state of he is here completely? Finally, you reach a state of, oh, he is here. You have teleported from point A to point B. So the gap has been filled. You have done the vibrational adjustments to align. Another technique which I do at this point in my career when things are like superfluous in my reality is understanding the sensation, creating the space and aligning it or merging. What I mean by that is whenever you are experiencing some circumstance you don't like, somebody is saying something you don't like, something is happening you don't like, stop right there. How do I feel or sense about it? Okay, if you feel clogged, start creating more movement there and create space. Now, coming for people who cannot feel their feelings easily and end up having headaches, stomachache, gastrointestinal diseases, and whatnot because your emotions are numbed out. What do you guys do? Every time you are having a physical response, say you are having a solar flash or your body is getting heated, you're getting to hear sounds, you're having rashes coming up, you're having headache, stop right there and go to that part of your body and hold that part and just sit with that part. Don't have to do anything, just lie down and just sit with that part, touch that part. Say you're having a headache, you're just touching that part, you're doing nothing, but you're just relaxing and just being, try to loosen your body. Wherever you feel tightened, make those molecules loosely packed so that you don't have resistance. Be just relaxed. A thought, awareness, or maybe a dream, a memory or aspect will come up, which maybe you've lived behind years ago. An awareness and understanding will come up directly or indirectly. You may manifest it through other people. Someone might just be discussing something in front of you, or you may hear something in TV and you can relate to a part of your life you're kind of trying to ignore. Be conscious of it and see the connection of it and see how this is relating to this, how this is connected to it. And as you realize the how and as you realize the core wisdom coming through, the realization of the core wisdom will be the realization which creates the shift and takes away your headache permanently. So if you have any bodily symptoms, try this technique today. So here's another technique of jumping from A to B. This is one of my favorite technique. I call it placebo spell. So you can do it literally with objects or you can do it through imagination. Why I call it a placebo spell is because I do it through imagination here. So what I am doing here is that I'm in point A. Oh, this person is not with me. Point B, this person is with me. So I imagine maybe a candle, and or you can literally, as I'm saying, do it with a candle. You can either literally hold a prop and do it to feel like, okay, I'm just doing it and this is getting me the result, or you can imagine it. Like when you're imagining it, allow yourself to just channel the prop. When you're allowing yourself to channel the prop, it will feel more natural and your unconscious will actually feel like it's actually happening and slide in faster. So what I mean by channel is like just let that thought of what prop to use come up on its own. So you may just think of a candle and you're just rubbing some essential oil on it, and as you're lighting up the candle there's a lot of energy and there's a lot of bursts happening and the energy is shifting and the energy flow is moving and is getting shifted to point B, and now you are in the vortex of where he is with you. Another technique is literally take an object, set the intention, and know that this object is going to get me the thing done. So set the intention that as I am doing this ritual and particular thing with this, the manifestation is coming to me. Another technique which you can do is the 2 cup water technique, which is a very quantum jump technique. Like you take a glass of water where you just write that with a very sad face and sad energy channeling through it. You take a sticky note and write that he's not coming back, or I'm not getting that deal, or I'm not having that manifestation. Like you just write that with sadness, and then you keep that glass, and then you take another glass and write that I'm having that manifestation, everything is working out for me, years come back, and you stick with to the second glass with that excitement. Now you take a bottle of water and you pour it in the first glass where you wrote that sad note, you're stuck, so you're pouring it with sad face that, oh, it's not happening. So you pour it from the first, now after pouring it in the first glass, from the first glass, you're transferring the water to the second glass where the happy note is. So now you're taking this glass and with all the happy joy, oh, my manifestation is here, it's happening. You're pouring it in the second glass, and then you're drinking water from the second glass with that exuberant joy that it's happening now. And you have that, you desire, it's getting manifested now, and you shift it. So there's another technique that you can apply for this is close your eyes and feel like you are literally in that. This is the imagination technique. Or literally, imagination creates reality, it's said. And you literally can close your eyes and imagine that you're in that reality that you desire, everything is happening over there, and you are as if literally there, you can as if touch the reality there, you can feel the reality there, and you're continuously vibing with that reality where it has all already happened, everything is exactly how you prefer, you're just vibing with it and syncing with it, and everything about that aspect is sinking in you, and every aspect of yours is just synced in. And with that synced in state, you're just becoming that person. So this method I'm telling you is a mixture of reality distortion theory, which Steve Jobs created, and mixture of imagination creates reality merged. It's an integrated method which I personally use when it comes to imagination, which I'm sharing with you all. So you just feel distort the reality to like it is actually happening there, and you're actually in that reality where you desire to be, and everything around is according to you, where the reality is, and everything is happening that way. And you just be there in that zone to that extent that this reality starts to feel like it's crumbling apart, falling apart, and you're completely getting into a vortex, a state where completely you're in that energy, and that dimension is completely coming through, and you're completely becoming that vibration, and it's becoming your vibrational frequency. And tada, you have upgraded your inner processor to that state. Another technique to raise your frequency is to listen to high frequency music, high frequency sound. Listen to vibrations that open up your higher chakras, heart chakra, throat chakra, crown chakra, and third eye chakra. All that opens up those. Do a lot of meditation with angels and archangels. Do a lot of meditations where you are connecting to the universe. Do a lot of meditation where you are feeling that vibe with the universe, and you're listening to high frequency music, listening to shamanic healing music, listen to shamanic drums. Those are going to connect to your soul's essence, energy's essence, and you're going to feel that energy of coming back home. Go for Reiki healing, like take a lot of Reiki healing. If you'd like, you can give yourself, in fact, Reiki, and go ahead and start learning witchcraft, a Reiki master and Reiki healing practitioner course, like which we have in house, and it's just $97. Like, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and become a Reiki healer, start healing yourself, start giving healing to your family. Like, what are you waiting for? And take a lot of Reiki healing, take a lot of energy healing, allow the energy healing, energy to flow through you. Energy has that power to change that structure fast. That structure is just energy that can just break fast when you can just channelize that energy flow. So allow a lot of energy to flow through it, a lot of source energy to come through and flow through it. Allow source energy to be channeled and flow through. And that's something you can highly incorporate in your journey. Apart from that, cut cords. A lot of times what happens is that we're meeting a lot of people, a lot of people's energy fields are getting attuned to yours. So literally feel the energy of others. Wherever you're feeling it, start loosely packing that energy. Or imagine a pair of scissors and cut it. Or literally take a pair of scissors and cut that. Literally feel that energy is flowing and you're cutting it. Another exercise you can do is like hold your right side, breathe in through your left, and breathe out through your mouth. And this time you will open this side. So this exercise will help you to align your nari activation. So your like divine feminine and divine masculine nari will be aligning when you are doing this process. Like your left hemisphere and right hemisphere is going to come into a state of alignment energetically as well as with your brain when you're doing it. So this is a nari activation meditation method that you can incorporate. Apart from that, another powerful method to literally shift your energetics is affirm. Like write down whatever you want, like in I have statement, like I have or I am statement, because God's name is I am, and whatever you put next to I am, you become that. And the absolute truth being I am that I am. So whatever you put next to I am, we become that. So I am rich, I am enlightened, I'm happy, I'm married, I'm celebrated, I'm chosen, I'm loved, I am rejoice, I am luckiest, I am blessed, I am excited, I am exuberant. So you just put the positive energy next to I am, or you have, like, I have manifested that house, I've already manifested that marriage, and now I am married. I have already manifested that good health, and I am healed. I am happy. I am successful. So I am affirmations, or literally have detailed affirmations with imagination, like while affirming, feel it, vibe with it, sense it, imagine it, bring your body, all of your body and all of your consciousness to that state of consciousness where every aspect of you is amplifying with that heightened amplitude, that it's actually happening, and that energy harmonics is getting activated and it's getting heightened because of that energy that's flowing through you. Allow yourself to freely flow as energy, which means all the clogs you sense keep on loosely packing and flow through it. Wherever you sense it, wherever the pack you feel, flow through it. And this technique, if you do, you will not only flow in the course of life as it's coming, but also you will be creating your space and energetics and harmony according to you. You will readjust your vibration to feel good, to align in your serendipity state, and continue to choose that, oh, it's all working out for me. It's always in harmony for me. I have what I desire. I am the one for whom it's working out. I am the one imagining of possibilities where it's working out for me. I'm the one seeing possibilities and experiencing possibilities where it's aligning for me. I'm the one who's moving energetics, flowing through energetics, and I am the one swirling and flowing in this energy. And I can see, sense, and feel and vibe with this sensation and flow simultaneously and play with this energy and allow my divine feminine essence to rise and flow, and allow my Shakti energy to go and create the magical flow for me because I am the essence of life. I am the flow of life. I am the energy flowing through life and flowing through creating synergy and flowing through an exuberant essence of life and flowing in being of essence of all that is. And I am life. I am love. I am happy. I am successful. And I'm for me, everything is moving and working out in my favor. For me, everything is aligning and getting created and restructured to formulate in a way that I feel ease. When I am doing this movement, I'm ensuring that the structure is moving from solid to gaseous and liquid. This is the kind of energetic healing that I'm usually going to be giving to my clients, and they are coming to work with me because I can sense through the walls, I can move through the walls, and I can create the patterns and energy structures and easily flow it through gaseous and liquid states and create that energetic harmonics and create that energetic flow to swirl in through it, to move in through it, and create the magical tapestry to flow, to unfold, and create this beautiful flow to just get weaved and created in this pathway, in this simulation where it's just flowing and creating the movement and the cause and the effect all simultaneously. Simulation is this is the simulation. You're constantly in a simulation. You can be in this simulation or this simulation or this simulation or this simulation or the simulation. I'm just showing you the flow of life. The simulation is called the flow of life, and dancing with the flow of life, dancing with the energy harmonies, and dancing with the flow as it is, and creating space for yourself, holding the space for all that is, and flowing as an embodiment of love, and allowing the energetics to flow through all the vessels, all the corners, so that your core microtubule is reverberating in the consciousness where your core resonance is hacked and is amplified, and you want completely orchestrating in the state where your harmonics and amplification are amplifying in the state of consciousness, right? That energy vortex is being able to create more movement and synergy and flow and create space and create energy. So you continue to create this energy where everything is working out in your favor in every possible layer of your life. Everywhere that you desire, everything is now aligning in your favor. This is the canvas of life, and this is the beautiful pen that you're drawing with. And as you are drawing with this pen, as you're synergizing in this flow, as you're flowing with it, draw with the canvas the most beautiful caricature, draw with the canvas the most beautiful synergistic flow, draw with the canvas the most beautiful portrait of your dream, of your desire, and just relinquish in the essence of the flow of life to create more space, to create more harmony, to create more ease. So you can continue to create more space and hold more space and allow yourself to just flow. Whenever you're feeling like you're giving too much, it's just the energy that's getting clogged and feeling like it's heavy. So instead of carrying the heaviness, you transmute the endorphin of heaviness to produce more oxytocin and serotonin so that you can just feel an easeful, aligned rush of dopamine and your adrenaline is at ease and everything in your body is at ease. Your cortisol is balanced and all aspects of your consciousness is balancing and you are just flowing in the flow of life, flowing in the course of life, reverberating and aligning in the harmonious alignment of serendipity, and you're just flowing in this sense of ease. You're just flowing in the sense of satisfaction. You're just flowing, creating energy and tapestry and flowing through life and restructuring what's needed to continue to create the caricature where everything is working out in your favor. You feel so much of joy, you feel so much of radiance, you feel so much of happiness, and your inner processor is now upgraded. Thank you and love and light to you. I'm sure you loved this journey, do share with me on WhatsApp how your journey was of watching this webinar. I know a lot of you are going to catch on to it later on the recording part. So go ahead and catch on the recording and let me know how your experience was. And I have loved serving you and doing this and sharing my knowledge. And it's been such a profound experience to do so. And I feel so humble, I feel so happy, I feel so radiant and joyful and upgraded in my inner processor and unsubscribed to my inner chatter in the pursuit of presenting this beautiful webinar to you. Thank you and love and light to you. Have a wonderful day, week, month, and journey ahead. Love and light to you. And see you on the other side. And I would love to work with each one of you. If you would like to work with me and get in touch with me, which you sure want to, I know, after this, go ahead and contact me from the link you receive in the description box below. And I would be more than happy to work with you, talk to you, and go through the process of finding out how I can contribute in your life to help you unsubscribe to the inner chatter and upgrade your inner processor. See you.